Hi guys, in this video we're going to go through powers. And the first thing we're going to do is define what a power is. And then we're going to move on to the 7 power rules. So the first thing we're going to do is define a power. And how I'm going to do this is with an example. So as we can see, it says 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 2 to the power of 3. Now in this case, the power is 3. And it shows that 2 has been multiplied by itself 3 times. Now we know that 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, but an easier way of writing it is 2 cubed. So that is what power is. Now, the first rule of powers is that when you multiply two powers with the same base, we need to add the powers. So, for example, 2 to the power of 6 multiplied by 2 to the power of 4 would be equal to 2 to the power of 6 plus 4, which is 2 to the power of 10. This is the same thing that happened in the second example, where we can see that the base is still the same and we must add the powers when we multiply. In an algebraic form, we would write this equation as x to the power of a multiplied by x to the power of b, and we would get x to the power of a plus b. Rule number 2. So here it says that when we divide powers, you have to subtract them from each other. So in the examples, we can see that 2 to the power of 6 divided by 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 2 to the power of 6 take away 4, which is 2 squared. The same thing happens in the second example, where again the base is the same, which is 4, and we just do 8 take away 3, because 4 to the power 8 divided by 4 to the power of 3 means that we have to take away the powers, which means that we get 4 to the power of 5. And in algebraic terms, we would write x to the power of a, divided by x to the power of b, is equal to x to the power of a minus b. So we're subtracting here. Rule number 3. When raising one power to another, you have to multiply them. So in the example, we can see that 3 to the power of 2 is in brackets, and the whole bracket is raised to the power of 3. This just means that we need to do 3 to the power of 2 multiplied by 3, which is 3 to the power of 6. The same thing happens in the second example. In algebraic terms, we could write x to the power of a, again in brackets, and the whole thing raised to the power of b, which would just be a to the power of a times b. And if we refer to the previous video on algebraic basics, we can see that we can write a times b as just ab. Rule number 4 is very simple. It states that anything to the power of 1 is just itself. So 5 to the power of 1 is just 5, 36 to the power of 1 is just 36, and we can say that x to the power of 1 is just x. So right at the bottom, if we see the example, a times a to the power of 4. We can write a as a to the power of 1 and times by a to the power of 4, and because it's multiplied, we can add the powers, which makes the answer a to the power of 5. Rule number 5. Anything to the power of 0 is just 1. And this is the case with all numbers, all letters, and everything. So 3 to the power of 0 is 1. 77 to the power of 0 is 1. Even e to the power of 0 is 1. So in algebraic terms, we could write this as x to the power of 0 is just 1. Rule number 6. 1 to any power is just 1. This is because if we do 1 times 1 times 1 and we keep multiplying by 1, it will just be 1. So no matter how big the power is, it will just be 1. So as we can see in the examples, 1 to the power of 3 is 1. Even the power of 60 is 1. And even up to 100, even bigger than that, we can still get an answer as 1. So in algebraic terms, we can write it as 1 to the power of x equals 1. The last rule is rule number 7. And this states that the powers apply to both top and bottom of a fraction. Now, in the example, we can see that a fraction is raised to a power. This is possible, and they could give you this in the exam. So if it's 3 over 7 in brackets squared, we need to square both numerator and denominator, and then we would get 9 over 49. The same thing happens in the second example. The only difference is that the index, the power, is just 3. In algebraic terms, we can see at the bottom that it's written a over b in brackets to the power of x is the same as a to the power of x over b to the power of x. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share and subscribe to it. Thanks for watching.